Well, we want to welcome you to the Kennesaw Happenings podcast. And you might look in the background and see some golf stuff. We do golf too, but this is not about golf. This is about Linda Oviatt, who is a nutrition expert. I'm going to let her introduce. I'm just tell her how I know her. She introduced me to a bunch of products that had changed everything about my whole disposition, because I am 45 years on controlled substance, the latest being Adderall, which I don't take and haven't taken since August 17th. So let's get to Linda. So Linda, please introduce ourselves to our community and just tell us who you are, who you serve, and what kind of problem that you're taking care of today.
Okay, that's a lot to say, Pete.
Yes. Hey, look, that's why I brought you on. You have a lot to say.
We're going to break that down a little bit here. Okay. So, well, you already introduced me. I'm Linda.
Hey, look, I'll tell you if you miss anything. Go ahead.
I'm sure you will. So basically, I am just the average Joe. I have just really spent a lot of time the last 15 years when my health took a turn, and I was actually at the doctor's office in my nice little gown, and he walks in with his little computer, and I give him my latest list of ailments, and he literally said to me, and he laughed when he said it, he says, "Oh, you're just aging on schedule." Oh, hey. I don't think so. Whose schedule? I didn't get the memo. So I left there a little, I was perturbed. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And that sent me on this insane quest for truth. We don't age on anyone's schedule. For me, the Bible tells me I have until 120 years. The American Medical Association has me kicking the bucket right around 80, 85. I said no. And I wasn't going to do it in a walker, and I wasn't going to do it in brain fog, and I wasn't going to do it with cold hands and cold feet and not being able to sleep and all of the ailments that they think that is all just process of aging. Well, it's not. So, since I'm going to be 69 this year, I thought, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and start speaking truth. And that's really basically how I've gotten my following. I wrote a book. I've done everything from essential oils to eating to exercise. And so I really just sit down and help you. I talk to you. I find out what your lifestyle is. I just literally want to know what's in your home. What are you taking? What have you tried? What are you eating? What are you exposed to? And then we just go from there.
Right. And I tell you, it's been maybe 4 or 5 months, 3 or 4. I don't know exactly. But since I've been on your products, and they're absolutely amazing, because like I said at the beginning, I was 40 some years of an ADD controlled substance. And when I had my last, it wasn't pretty. I vowed not to take another pill. And that was a long journey. And every time I tried to get off of the controlled substance, I found myself hitting. I couldn't find a good natural product that would get anywhere close. So I would migrate back to the controlled substance until I had your products. And I tell you, there's nothing like it. I have my focus. I have my feeling. Everything is absolutely incredible. Now, let me say, people will say, "Oh, that's expensive." What do you put a price on your health? Do you wait until you lose your health and then you say, "I'll spend anything," or do you do some prevention? I
believe in prevention.
Yes, I do too.
I totally believe in prevention. So the research is, I listened to a podcast this morning, and it was a faith-based podcast, and they were talking about how in the Louvre out in France, there's literally 3.5 miles worth of scientific books that are out of date.
Wow.
So the science is constantly evolving. And as we just keep up with it, so the mental health field in just the last 20 years has just evolved again. They're finding out new things, and even with the endocannabinoid system, where everybody went CBD crazy here. What was it, about 3 years ago? Everybody was CBD crazy. But people don't understand what that is, and that there is an endocannabinoid system in the body, and that these are just products that are actually hitting those receptors. Okay. So it's just educating yourself on the different things and keeping up with that community. Well, the average person's not doing that. The average person, I mean, you can follow Facebook or any of these social media things, and somebody puts out there that, probiotics. Oh my gosh, it's a probiotic. Well, what's the name of the brand of it? What is it? And everybody jumps on that, and they don't understand what they're doing, or they're not understanding what they're taking.
Yeah.
So I like to be that person that you can just kind of come to and say, hey, Linda, I know you've been around a long time, and you've been watching this stuff, and you've done the oils, and you know how to do these things. Can you just help me? Whatever it is, if it's brain fog, if it's, whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
But mental health, I mean, even Pete, for golfers, your golf game, you want to not be angry. You want to be able to approach that tee. You want to be able to focus. You want to be able to have your game on, your head in the game. And you don't need squirrels roaming around up here, and you don't need outside pressures. And so there are natural things you can do, and things that you can do prior to the game.
Right.
Then you're not wrapping your golf club around the nearest tree. Okay. I've been on the field. I've been on the course, and I have seen that happen. So,
and your mood does affect your game, because if you can't keep a level head throughout the golf, it's going to affect your score. So if the golfers are out there is some benefits by having the right balance in your system so you can play your best golf.
Right.
Now,
you want to win a game of golf, have your opponent eat a hamburger before they go out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. A wolf down a hot dog, right?
Yeah, then you've already got it over your opponent.
Yes,
because now he's too busy digesting that food, and it's creating all kinds of havoc in the system that we don't even realize it's doing. So yeah, if you want the edge on that golf game, have your opponent eat lunch first.
Buy him a hot dog. So tell me about what caught my eye was the gut is a second brain, and the communication with the gut and the brain. Share with our listeners your thoughts on what that means.
It's a gut-brain issue, so that you you produce most of your serotonin and your dopamine and all of those nice feel-good neurotransmitters are actually created in your gut. And so then that's going to affect how you're thinking. And they never really understood that gut-brain. It's actually three brains, a gut-brain-heart connection.
Right.
And so they have actually now have the research, and they actually have the tools, and actually the natural things that you can take that will facilitate the three working together. Right. So it's that heart, brain, mood. So now you have outside stressors, traffic, family, and all kinds of things. And so those outside stressors, when you have those, you don't feel like eating. Your stomach is tight up in knots, you're nervous and things like that. It works this exact opposite also. Where are those days when you wake up and you just don't feel right? You're just not like, what's the problem today? I'm not in my game. What's going on? Well, it's the gut talking to the brain and the brain talking to the gut. It's really that simple. And if just taking care of it with the proper nutrition and the proper probiotics, there's over 200. I think I've actually heard numbers up to 2,000 of different probiotics. And so if you don't know the strain that you're taking for specific use of the stomach and getting that gut brain connection, then you're taking the wrong probiotic. You should be able to see like RO11, RO55, something like that on the bottles.
And it seems like without a proper knowledge of things, and I believe in self-education, but I also believe in going with the experts. And so your 15-year journey, it's a lot of time you've invested in yourself to learn what's going on with the body. and to be able to help your patients or your clients understand what's best for them. What do you think? I've heard the word brain fog. So what is that exactly in your terms, and how have you been able to help in that area?
For me, it's just being able, like, I just can't put things together. I was not being able to think straight. I couldn't keep focused. I couldn't keep my mind on things. It was, I felt like I was forgetting things. Of course, none of us remember phone numbers anymore. They're in our phone. I don't know what I did with those brain cells where I used to know everybody's phone number by heart. Those brain cells must be working on something else.
We don't use them that much, so we don't need to remember them because you just use
So yeah,
Siri
being able
things or whatever. Go
Yes,
ahead.
just being able to wake that up and it's almost like you have a light, like you walked into a room and turned on the light. You go, wow, I'm thinking clearer. So it's all of those, it's happening in the gut,
Yeah.
and it's affecting how your brain is thinking. So we've got to clear up that fog. They call it brain fog. Mhm.
So where are you see, like, because I live in a 55 and older active community, and health becomes more of a priority later in life than we did when we were in our younger years. So what's the thought about for like the average person that wants to feel good and wants to not have the gut issues or have problems with their stomach? What's your thoughts on that? Is there any difference between that and somebody that's like 35?
Yeah, well, 35, you don't even think about 65. You think you're invincible. So you're out there eating the pizzas and you're out there eating all of things. So yeah, as you get older, all of a sudden you're sitting there going, you're dealing with arthritis and all of the itises, okay?
Right.
And you're wondering why you have brain fog and you don't have energy and you can't get rid of that, the spare tire. You feel like you have inflammation in the body. Well, you can. Even at 60, I mean, I started my journey in my 50s when this whole thing started. So like I said, I'll be 69 this year. And I look and feel better than ever. And everyone says you don't even look near your age.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. And and I have literally taken those ages off. So limit sugar. Eat organically when possible. Google the clean 15 it's called the dirty dozen and the clean 15. That list comes out every year. Go ahead and eat your fruits and your vegetables and things of that nature. As we age, we also need more protein. So I know I need a minimum of 25 milligrams of protein just for muscle mass. We lose that as we get older. I know I need enzymes because our enzymes that break down all of those fats, sugars, and proteins. We start losing those at right around the age of 30, 35, those start declining. Our protein declines. So those are things that we absolutely need to be getting more of. And that does not mean go eat a steak. You can get proteins in beans, legumes, all of those things. So, and I take a protein supplement. I do take, I can't eat all of the food that they require me to get all of my fruits, vegetables, and proteins. So yes, I do supplement for those things. Limit the sugar. Make sure you're sleeping. Get into a sleep routine. Don't be on your computer at night. Start reading a book or something like that. Get the blue lights or get the glasses that will they block that blue light blockers. So try to make sure that you stay on a sleep schedule, drinking a lot of water. Strength training for our age group is amazing. Getting out and walking is fine. Definitely be walking at least twice a day, about 30 minutes, making sure you're getting sunshine, fresh air. But strength training is, I can't even tell you how much that will help you with muscle and being able not to have to be in a walker, giving you your energy. It also increases your metabolism. So you're going to burn those calories faster. Let me think. Sleep, water, hydration, and I'm not talking, get rid of the Cokes, get rid of all of that stuff. that's playing havoc with you. Eat as organic as possible. Do the 80-20 rule. Don't look at me. I've got no halo. You might say blessed behind me, but I ain't got no halo. I like a good cookie and I will eat a slice of pie. But you have to do things in moderation. So if you're going to go do that, then you're going to have to make up for someplace else. So,
Yeah. So what's your typical when somebody comes to you, how are they coming? Like, is somebody referring them, or they just want to know what the basics are to feel better again and to get a hold of their health? What are they usually saying to you when they come to you?
Well, if I'm running into people on the street, because I was out of town for a while there for about 5 years. And so now I'm running into people that I haven't seen in a while. And so they're going, like, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to know what it is. Okay. And so then I'll sit down and do a one-on-one coffee. And then I will get referrals from people that will say, hey, I've been watching you on Facebook, or I've been, whatever, meeting you, whatever. Can I sit down with you? And I go, sure, let's sit down. So that's when then we'll get into the nitty gritty, where I'm just going to ask you some questions. I want to know what lifestyles are, what your life stressors are, what are your food habits, your exercise habits, and what are you being exposed to in your home? Because toxins in the home are big also.
So
and let's work on your gut. And we literally, you work on the gut, the skin issues go away, the inflammation walks out of your life, you sleep better. You're finding you sleep like a baby, and you feel more energetic, and you've got like focus again. And it's, when you talk about people saying, oh, well, it's expensive, I go, you have been Dr. Googling for the last, I don't know how many years. I can go into your cupboard and find 15, 20 products that you took a few bites of, a few scoops of, half a bottle of pills of something, and you've got a menagerie of things up in your cupboard. Let's just clean all that out. Let's just make this real simple.
Well, I think it's all priority, and we spend money where we want to spend it.
That's
and
true.
So we'll argue that, oh, that's expensive, and then we'll go buy a new TV or new something else and drop a lot of money in. When your health starts to decline, that priority of finer health goes way up, but you don't necessarily want to wait till that.
There's a lot of medications that cost a lot of money. You want to be on the medications, or you want to be just doing it naturally? Now, it does take a little. Now, I eat a lot less. Because I'm eating organically and I'm watching what I'm eating. And then I do supplement with the things that give me the nutrients without all the calories. Right. So that helps there. But in the end, I'm not spending any more a month than the average person would be with, groceries. And, if you have a good multiple vitamin and a good antibiotics for your stomach health, and then you can, depending on what your need is.
Right.
My need was different than your need. Okay. You're coming off of, you needed the nootropics. A lot of the elderly need the nootropics, which are your feel good things that make you feel good.
Right.
Those are wonderful, but you can still also, maybe you're dealing with pain. This morning, I was getting out of my car. I went to the doctor. I was doing a blood draw because I'm having my physical next week. You have to have that every year, by the way. Make sure you get your blood tested every 6 months to make sure you're good. Literally getting out of my car, twisting my back. Now, I'm a person who exercises twice a day. I do weight training. I do everything else. I mean, I'm like, really? Seriously? I know exactly what to do. And now I just popped down in my chair at 2:00 and turned this on to have the podcast with you, and I've taken care of it. So I know exactly what to do.
What do you find? That's awesome. What do you find today are the big stressors that you're running into when people are talking to you about their health?
Their worry is a big stressor.
Right.
Because we're aging and we don't want to be. Now, if we're talking about this population, we're worried about being burdens to our children.
Right.
we're worried about cancer. We're worried about all of the big stuff. Okay. You start worrying about that. You're thinking, do I have all my paperwork in order? You don't think about that at 35.
Right.
Okay. And you're wanting to know, can I stay in my home? How long can I be independent? And you can seriously add years and quality to those years if you start doing just a few things now.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned weight training. Is there any area and where you get your weight training, or you just do it at home, or are you doing
Well,
what's your thoughts on that?
so I am not that motivated.
Yeah.
I need a coach. So I have gone to a program. It's called Exercise Coach, and I can get you two sessions for free if you like, just to try it out. Just call me. You can drop my name and you get the 2 sessions for free. Anyway, so I went over there and I did the first 6 months where I had the one-on-one coach, because I have silver sneakers. I can go over and do that. So I tried going over to the local gym. Well, they were all 25-year-olds. And I'm over 65. And I'm like, there's a big disconnect in what you think I can do and what you're not doing. And then they're on their phone while I'm doing my stuff. So they're not even watching to see if I'm going to do it in proper form. Am I hurting myself? That kind of thing. So I gave up on that. I went ahead and did Exercise Coach. I did that for a while with the one-on-one coach, and now I'm in group, which I still get a lot of one-on-one in group because there's only 4 people per group.
Right.
And so, so I do overall strength training. I can now take what I've learned, and now that I am stronger, I can now go back to silver sneakers, which is free. Exercise Coach wasn't. Or getting a good trainer isn't. And now I can go and use my silver sneakers. And I now know the proper things to do and what to watch for in my proper form and all of that.
Wow. So one of the things that I've been real pleased with is Happy Juice. I like the name. So share with our viewers.
The customers actually named that.
Oh, really? Well, they did a good job, because it definitely
they felt happy.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's crazy, but I don't, I don't drink coffee. Like, I've had probably 1 cup of coffee in 2 months.
You don't need it anymore.
I would drink 1 cup of coffee a day for years and years and years. And the smell of coffee, the taste of coffee, I love it. But I was just curious.
No, I just use it for a room odor. I love the smell of coffee, so I can put a pot of coffee on just for the smell of it.
Oh, yeah. So share with our viewers what Happy Juice is.
Happy Juice is really a combination of 3 products, and the base product is called Mentibiotics, and so it has your prebiotic, postbiotic, phytobiotic, and there's 4 in there: pre, post, and whatever. Anyway, so it's called Mentibiotics.
Yeah.
1 scoop of that into your cup. Then it's followed with a product called Edge. Now, Edge has your nootropics in it, and so those are your mango fruit, your passion fruit. There's things in there.
Yeah.
And then the energy one is like pomegranate. It's a different combination of different herbs. That when you put the 3 of them together, you create a product called Happy Juice, is what our customers are calling it. And so it's stuck. And so that's now what people go, what do you do? I says, I like Happy Juice. So like, oh, you got vodka in there? I go, no, I don't have any vodka in there. It's just what the customers have called it. So it's a combination of those 3 products. A lot of times we will be able to tweak that. The Mentibiotics, of course, the probiotics, post and prebiotics, all are working on the gut.
Okay.
And so we get the gut level working properly. And that's something I just take every morning. I'd use it in my shake, so I get it all down at one time. Then I have now separated out the Edge and the energy. And I sip on that in these glasses all day long.
Right.
I make a good 28 ounce, 32 ounce of it. If you like the stronger flavor, you use less water. I like it just very lightly flavored water.
Right.
And so I just sip that during the day, and it's giving me all of that, those things that help with producing that dopamine, the serotonin, and the things in my gut. And you're finding that it's working for you. Great.
Oh, yeah. And, it's funny because the energy I did not use today. And
Mhm.
I'm like getting that late afternoon, like I'm finding myself yawning, and I'm never that way. But I cut the packet off and I put it beside where I mix the drinks, and I just forgot it this morning. I didn't put it in. So after this, I'm gonna get some energy and put it in there. So yeah.
Isn't it great not taking a nap in the afternoon? It's like,
No,
hey,
it is.
I'm not a senior citizen. Maybe when I'm 90, I'll take my nap in the afternoon.
Right.
But right now I'm still cooking strong.
Yeah.
I do like the mood and the focus. There's two products called Mood and Focus. So if I'm doing I do a lot of research and writing articles.
Right.
And so that's what if I'm doing them in the afternoon, then I'll use that to give me that extra focus. So I put the squirrels away. Sometimes like I have a product called Sleep Plus that is melatonin free. So there's no melatonin in it. A lot of people can't take melatonin. It works the opposite on them. So if I'm had a really busy day and my mind is just where I just need to put all the squirrels in cages and so everybody can go to sleep, I can do that. So there's certain combinations of herbs that are totally natural, and a lot of these are the ones that you can get only in Asia. But like this morning, I took my Relief Plus, for pain.
Yeah.
It's frankincense and curcumin and turmeric, all of the things, all in one little bottle.
Right. I found I had told you, like I always listen to my body, so I try to test things, and sometimes the tests don't go exactly as you're planning. I was on Focus and Mood. I didn't want to get off of it, but then I ran out. I didn't have a choice. So that was a designated time where I went off it for 4 or 5 days, maybe 6 at the most, until my shipment came in. And I noticed the difference. In how my body responds, because I definitely know my body, because you have to listen to your body, because everybody's individual. It's not like we have cookie cutters all around and do this and this happens, do this and this happens. The stress and all the things that go on every day are different for people. Yeah, so we can't say, okay.
But isn't it wonderful to only have a few bottles of something in your cabinet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Cabinet full of stuff.
Absolutely. It's refreshing. I remember when I went to my new wellness guy and we were talking about my eating habits, and he said, Pete, I told him I eat a lot of fresh fruits and I eat a lot of oranges. He says, the only thing about that is I recommend supplements because it's concentrated. And if you ate all the fruits that you need to eat, you would overload your system on the natural sugars. So look at supplements not as like, well, it's okay to take. You really have to take supplements because the requirements of our body are that we need certain things in it. And if we're going to have all these vegetables, I mean, we can't possibly eat all the vegetables that we need to eat, but supplements allow us the time. And you have to be careful. I know we've talked about this before.
You got to know where they're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And they think, well, I'll buy over the counter at CVS. Well, and it's $25, whatever. They hit price points because if there was a $50 product on the shelf without an explanation, without somebody helping you through, you would never buy it. So the manufacturers will come in for a price point, not really for effectiveness. And I think that's the difference.
So you think you're taking this wonderful vitamin? You're telling your friend, oh yeah, I only paid $10 for my vitamins or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, Well, you might as well have just taken a match to it because you're not getting the benefits. The body's not getting any of those benefits.
Yeah.
You're not getting, you don't even know where they're
Yeah.
coming from. So I only deal with companies that I've actually been able to research. I actually know where they're sourcing their things. I
Right.
actually want to know, do they have every single bottle, anything that I ever give you, you're going to have technical data sheets, you have clinical trials on.
Right.
And if you can't get me clinical data and clinical trials and data sheets on it, then I'm not taking it.
Good. No, I agree with you. I agree. There's too much junk out there.
There's a lot of junk out there.
They name it something like that. People go, well, if it's named this, it must be this. Not necessarily. You better look at the data to support what's out there, because there's not enough regulations on things out there in the nutrition.
There's no regulation on them.
Yeah. So you could be putting anything in your body, and it could have the exact opposite effect that it needs to have because the way that the formulation is there. So right. I always ask, like, is there a nutrition person or a wellness person that you go to that you could recommend for our show that would help our listeners understand more about wellness? It doesn't have to be nutrition, but just somebody in general that you can recommend.
Yeah, actually, you can actually get some of the most latest science on everything. Right. And it's literally an app. I mean, if you want to talk to me, fine, talk to me. Yeah. I can send you to all kinds of places, but it's on my phone and it's called Ask Any Question. Can you see that little tiny?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It says Any Question. The name of the app is Any Question. And you can put in topics what you want. You can select nutrition. You can select whatever you want to know about.
Right.
And there are fields of doctors that actually have been, of course, you know, they've all been vetted. But you can find nutrition or strength or healthcare, photography, cycling, running. It's called Any Question, and you can ask doctors there.
Wow, that's a great resource for our viewers, because
so ask a question. You type in your question,
yeah,
and you will get them to answer them.
Sweet, man, I like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's like having your own coach or expert on your phone.
Yep.
That you can, because there's no shortage of information on the internet, but
there isn't. But you have to keep up on the latest.
Yes, yes. And if you think it's a valuable resource for our viewers, then we'll put a link in the show notes so our people
can totally free. You just get on there and ask any question.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I tell you,
if they have golf information, Pete, you know.
Wow. Hey, maybe that needs to be important to use. So, hey, I'm going to download it. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
It does have golf. It
really?
Does have golf, yes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that is good.
And it has liquor, climbing, criminal justice. It has everything on here. Even has podcasting, everything you wanted to know about podcasting. And those are going to be from people that are
podcasters,
outstanding in their field. And they've gotten
absolutely
this question. Yes, it's a fun resource.
That is awesome. What we're going to do for our viewers in the show notes, you're going to get some links to some of Linda's favorites and what she has been, what I've been taking, I'm sure, and what she's been taking. So if you want to feel better, have better focus, be a little happier, hey, who wouldn't want to be happier, you know?
Happier and healthier.
Yes, there's nothing better, because as we get older, those become a higher priority than they did years ago.
Yep.
So, Linda, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, if you're on Facebook, you can just join my Facebook group. It's called Living Well Made Simple.
Okay.
That's an easy way. Find me on Facebook. You can do that. I'll give you the link tree that they can find out about all of the products, look at videos and things like that. Link tree will get you to me.
Okay.
You can just literally look for me at lindaoviatt.com. So I have a landing page there where you can sign up for my email. I send out an email. You've been enjoying them.
Yeah.
I do everything from adrenal fatigue to, I think my next one out is a more fun one. It's diets through the ages. I'm going to go through all the diets back from the 1930s when they had the cigarette diet, all the
Yeah.
way to. Yeah.
We've had a lot of them. We probably
We've had a
could
lot of
put them
crazy.
in one book. There's been so many because seems like every month a new one would come out.
Well, the
So
grapefruit diet,
yes.
the lemonade diet. So my next email coming out will be all about the fad diets through the ages. It's kind of fun to read.
Awesome. Well, that is so good. Linda, I want to thank you for being on the Kennesaw Happening podcast and for sharing with our viewers valuable information about health.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the parting thought. What can you share with our viewers as we leave us today?
Choose happy.
I love it. Man,
Just choose happy.
yes. How can you go?
Find something to be happy about in every situation you're in.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you being on our show today.
Thank you, Pete, for having me.